What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the 1796 Sports Podcast, joined by Jim as always. Jim, how have you been? What's piquing your interest so far as we are about to conclude the second week of fall camp?
I mean, we got to talk about it. It happened earlier today. Jermod McCoy is back on the practice field. Uh, we didn't even know. We didn't know what was going to happen with him. What we didn't know if we wouldn't see him until Georgia. Some people were saying we probably wouldn't see him until even after that. And
Yep.
so I've even heard the fact of if he didn't get to that Georgia game, what has him hold out for the NFL draft and not risk getting hurt. But seeing him on the practice field today is a great sign for Tennessee. I expect to see him week one. Let me take that back. I expect to see him week one, but he's not going to play to the extent that he would normally play. I think he's going to get that, in-game feel, and then, that's it. But we got to make sure we win week one. You do not want that to be a sneaky loss, and that would be a terrible start
No,
to the year. So you need all your guys that can play to play.
I don't even want to think about possibly losing that game. Syracuse's projected win total was like 4.7, so we would know all we need to know about how the year's going to go if that happens. But it was good to see Jermod out there. He was, just going through the individual drills, and sounds like Boo's working his way back into the fold. Which I guess that situation, like we predicted, resolved itself. Both sides probably were like, "Hey, I mean, what else are we going to do here?" So, which is fine. At least we're going to have him for 12 games. So we'll see what happens after that. But what's piquing my interest so far is it seems like this quarterback situation is more of a competition than everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've been seeing, people talking about how Joey hasn't been comfortable. He was underthrowing people. He was, which is fine. It's fall camp. This is where you get the kinks out. I mean, the dude's been here since June. He didn't even get the practice in spring with the team. So I understand. I'm going to give Joey the benefit of the doubt here, though. I do think his veteran status gets him a day one start. I think you do go with that until something fails miserably and you throw Jake Merklinger in there. But Jake Merklinger is also a very talented quarterback. You
Yep.
can't, take a 4-star for granted. He was really good, played in a really good high school player in the state of Georgia in a highly, competitive league. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Other than that, man, like the quarterback situation is weird. Uh, the thing is like we didn't expect Hendon Hooker to have the season he had,
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying Joey's going to be Hendon, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was our boy Pete Nakos today said that Aguilar has the slight edge, which whatever the hell that means. They've only even been in pads since Wednesday, so they've had two practices of full pads. I mean, I think we'll find out a lot more about that after the scrimmage tomorrow morning. So, which I think you'll find out a lot more about every position battle. I mean, the way I look at that quarterback is I just want the best one to play. Whoever's playing the best, I don't really care who it is. I do think it'd be better for the team if it was Merklinger because you wouldn't be going into next year with the same situation you're in now. No experience at quarterback, but I mean, like I said, just put the best guy out there. I really don't care, even if it's George, which I highly doubt it at this point. But um, I've been hearing a lot of good things about the freshmen, though. That's what's exciting me the most is that there's been a lot of buzz around David Sanders. The Volquist guys already saying that they would be shocked if he's not the starter at right tackle. And you're hearing a lot about Radar and Travis Smith Jr. too. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, the other guys are probably coming along nicely too, if I had to guess. I mean, it was a really talented class, so it's not too big of a surprise to me.
Well, the freshmen coming in look the part already. I mean, like Dwayne Morris, the running back. That kid looks like an SEC running back already.
Yeah.
Now he's behind 3 guys that are gonna play. But I do expect Dwayne Morris to get some time, on those ETSU, UAB type games. But
Yeah.
but like you said, the freshmen are looking great. Ethan Utley,
Hmm.
SEC lineman, Isaiah Campbell, same thing. It's really looking up, for Tennessee in the future. But the depth is crazy, except for the wide receiver room. Obviously, Mike Matthews in a non-contact jersey. But the freshmen, we're going to need the freshmen to step up this year, especially in the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just about to say, I mean, what is it, 7 scholarship guys there? So they really don't have a choice but to play them, especially if they run into injuries. Are you hitting the panic button on, Brazel missing a day here, Matthews missing a day there? I think it's just maintenance stuff.
well, Matthews, I think is going to he'll be here week 1. I
Yeah.
think the whole non-contact is, hey, we're not going to risk anything.
Yeah.
Still get your reps in if you can. Another thing is Brazel hasn't even touched the practice field yet.
Yep.
So I don't know how that situation is. I haven't heard or seen anything about it. Just I don't know if it's precautionary. I don't know if he's actually really hurt. But maybe this is a telltale sign that you might get Boo on that offensive side of the ball more.
Yeah.
And use Colton Hood to your advantage. I mean, Colton Hood looks really good in the one video we've seen of him
Yeah.
intercept that ball, the Blurgate,
Yeah.
But yeah, the freshmen, man, the freshmen, they have to play them. They have to play them, and I think they're very talented. They look the part, especially the 2 you named, Radar and Travis Smith Jr. I mean, I expect them to get some playing time, especially if Brazel is hurt. So
Yeah. 100%. Just other than the wide receivers and just talking about them, who's going to step up and all this. I mean, some of them are going to have to, undoubtedly, but it sounds like we might have a few more pass catchers because there's been talk about Deshaun Brame and Jack Van Dorsler too. Like they're impressing already. And you already have Ethan Davis and Kitzelman in that room. I mean, the tight ends might be the best group we've ever had under Heupel.
oh yeah, I mean, you have 4 guys in that room that, I mean, other than Brame is probably the only one that I've heard about where they don't know how he is in the pass protection yet and the
Yeah.
blocking portion, but that dude is an athlete. He could go catch a ball. But I heard Jack Van Dorsler is another one where looks the part. He can catch the ball. He does everything that needs to be done. Ethan Davis is the guy this year. I know you got Miles Kitselman. You know what Miles is going to do, but I think Ethan Davis is going to have a huge part in this offense this year,
Yeah.
and I'm for it. We've been saying it for years now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he might have to if the receivers are, not coming along how we want them to. But I mean, he's kind of that hybrid guy anyway, more of a pass catcher than a blocker. And Kitselman's really good at both, obviously, but Davis, I think he could be a huge weapon over the middle. And we did a few things with Davis last year, early in the year, and then Kitselman just, showed out. I mean, nobody expected Kitselman to be that good last year. He was kind of an afterthought after Stays and Davis. Other than that, on the freshman side, I mean, like I said to start this talk, David Sanders, if he's already that good and he's entrenched at right tackle, according to everybody who's seen practice, I think we have ourselves a gem. So he might be as impactful as Trey Smith was in his first year. And I know we went 4-8 that year, but he was really damn good.
I'm hearing a lot of good things about our offensive line all around. I mean,
Yep.
heard the way he's looking. Like you said, Sanders is showing out as a freshman. And Jesse Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I wouldn't be shocked if they go Pendleton at center.
He's only repped at center so far. They haven't even repped him at guard. So I think that kind of tips the hand,
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked that after this scrimmage that we hear that the ones are going to be what we think they're going to be. And I'm assuming the way they're going to do it is they'll probably put Perry next to Hurd and then they'll put Mo next to Sanders to get that veteran,
Maybe, yeah.
Thing going. But I'm excited, man. It's so close. We're so close to opening kickoff. And again, we haven't even talked about the defense today. And the defense is probably going to be the best. I think it's going to be better than last year. I'm be honest.
Yeah, I mean, all you hear about the defensive line and the linebackers is how good they are. I mean, the linebackers, we got like, it was either 3 or 4 4-star linebackers that are freshmen coming in. You already have Thielander, Carter, Spillman. Spillman's been showing out. I think Coach Inge called him the monster of the room. It's like, okay, that's good because he, of course, dealt with injuries last year and only appeared in like 4 games. So maybe he'll take a step. And Rodney Garner said Dominic Bailey was the MVP of the D line so far,
Which is huge.
Yeah, I mean he's what, a 5th-year guy, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 5th year. So that's what you want to see, the guy leading the pack in that way, because there's a lot of young guys like that came in on the D line and some guys who are about to get more playing time than they've ever gotten. You want a guy like that holding down the fort in the middle, and you also have the guy who went to SEC Media Days. Remind me,
Bryson Eason.
Bryson Eason there too. So,
and we have and Tyree Weathersby.
Yeah,
that's another guy I think is due. He's due.
And Tyree West too in the middle. I mean, I don't think the D line is going to see much drop off from how good it was last season.
Yeah, and you talked about it already. I mean, the biggest difference this year to me is the linebacker room. I mean, everyone knows that Tennessee is going to have a fantastic secondary. I mean, they're going to have Colton Hood, McMurray, Boo Carter. I mean, Ricky Gibson and Jamar McCoy. That's a crazy deal. And that's not even talking about Farouk and Caleb Beasley. So the linebacker room is Arian Carter's going to be an absolute stud. That kid is what we thought we were getting. We understand why Nick Saban was going after him. I mean, there's a reason when Nick Saban is going after a guy, and that was Arian Carter. But Jeremiah Thielander and Edwin Spillman, and then you got guys like Jordan Burns and got young guys like Perlotti and what's his name, Harmon. You got a lot of talent in that room. That all it is looking up. I really think this defense is going to be better than last year. I mean, it's hard to be better. Our defense was phenomenal last year. So let's hope the offense could just get a couple more points. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, I'm trying not to be that Vol fan that.
No, that Vol fan.
No. Like I'm not going to tell you we're going 12-0 because I'm not going to tell you that. I might be thinking that.
Yeah.
But, anyway, this team could sneak. You get Gunnar Stockton in his first big road game.
Yeah.
You get that defense, that crowd. We're both going to be there. I mean, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. If you could steal that game and not drop a game at home.
Yep.
And if you could steal Alabama or steal Florida's not that good. I hate to say it. They're not that good this year. This team has the potential of being in the playoff again. It's just, what quarterback are we getting?
That's the main one. And then how does the young talent come along? Do they shine quickly or does it take them a little bit of time? And, just talking about the secondary real quick, I think it's safe to say the cornerbacks are really good. Which, by the way, I've read that McMurray is lining up at nickel for the most part, and Hood's at the other corner spot. And I was just mulling it over, like, if Turrentine or Farouk are not what we want them to be, why not stick Boo at safety if he's willing to do it? I mean, I think he could do it. Like, I think I was floating that idea last year when Jordan Thomas got hurt in fall camp, but that's just me spitballing a little bit. But I think the safeties are the biggest question on the defense, undoubtedly, which it seems to always be under Heupel. I don't know why we can't get a established safety back there. But hopefully Farouk is the guy, and Turrentine can help him along as the more experienced player.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Caleb Beasley too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a battle between Farouk and Beasley to get that spot. And I wouldn't be mad about either one. Farouk is another one, looks the part. He looks the part, but what do we get, on the field? So, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot will tell after this scrimmage tomorrow, and we'll see what goes on. I mean, again, I'm a little frustrated. I'm going back to this quarterback room, and I'm not doubting Joey Aguilar. I'm really not. I think he's a veteran guy. I think he's going to figure it out. But to me, with a defense like this that you got in the transfer portal and people that are still here, why didn't we go after big time guys in the portal? Like, again, your wide receiver room was a problem. Zachariah Branch. Why didn't we go after him and spend the money to get a guy like that? Same thing with the quarterback. You could have gotten a quarterback, but again, I don't know. I feel like that was this year. You have the defense to win a championship, but you're missing primetime spot quarterback, and you're really low on wide receivers. It's just odd to me.
I mean, I think the emergency plan, after Nico did what he did in December, was, GMAC's a 5-star, and Merklinger's a top 100 player too. If we have to go get a grad transfer to just have another guy in the room, it'll be all right. And that's exactly what happened. After what Nico did, so I don't know if I blame him for that. I mean, when you get a 5-star quarterback, I don't know that you're really concerned that much when you think you had one it was about to be in his third year in the system. I don't really blame him for that. The wide receivers, I think that's more of a philosophy shift. Like, let's play the guys we recruited. They probably spent a lot of money to get those guys. You beat Georgia, Auburn, Alabama for some of these guys. So why not keep them happy and play them and see if they pan out? I think that's what they were thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Zachariah Branch have like similar numbers to Dante Thornton last year, if not worse? Like,
yeah, well, he was also getting the ball thrown to him like never. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think the wide receivers in the portal were nothing to. I would rather have taken a chance on the guys that we got than go and get some, B- player. I'm okay with what they did. It's just it's going to look kind of bad if it doesn't work. But from what we've heard so far, after the first week and a half of camp, Smith and Radar are looking good. I mean, and I don't know if Amari Jefferson will factor in much, but that's a guy you got, and he was solid. He committed to Alabama. You don't commit to Alabama if you're bad at football. So I'm not as concerned about the wide receiver room as everybody else. And we play 3 guys anyway, most of the time.
4. And, you got that 4th guy.
So barring, injuries happen. It's probably going to happen. And, I think it'll be okay. Like I said earlier, you have the tight ends to back them up. And if they haven't flashed in practice, maybe it's because our cornerbacks are really good. They'll probably be facing they will be facing a far less better secondary in week 1 than what they're seeing every day in practice. And we'll see for the next 3 weeks. So I think by the time that day comes, they'll be ready. So
yeah, we got to take everything, especially in fall camp, with a grain of salt because, they're throwing at air and there's no contact. There's no, no real reads that quarterbacks are making. Like I said earlier, I think Joey Aguilar is going to be the QB1 come week 1. You don't pay the kid to come in here and not play. But I do think he's going to have a string. I don't know how short the string is going to be.
Yeah.
So I think Joey's plenty good enough to beat Syracuse, who has a defense that sucked last year. Their defense was terrible last year. And again, the big telltale sign is when he gets the SEC play. When you play at Georgia, when you play those, SEC games. Again, that's the only spot that I'm like that takes my excitement away because I feel like, and I'm not even saying Nico because Nico was mid anyway, but I feel like that spot's going to hold us back a little bit this year.
Yeah. You know, and I said this wouldn't happen. That's kind of why this year, and then you add in all the young talent we have too. Like half the roster is freshmen or redshirt freshmen. You know, it might be a reset year. It doesn't mean it can't be fun. If the offense looks like it has in the past in 2021, 2022, and we go 8-4, 9-3, I'll be excited. Like I'm not gonna. It depends on how we lose the games, obviously. You know, I say that now, but like if the offense looks that good and the defense, you know, is still good, and we just lose games because of the inexperience, like a few silly mistakes here or there, I won't be that mad because I know going into this, it has the potential to be a rebuilding year. But once Faison hopefully gets here, or Merklinger pans out next year, or McIntyre pans out, whoever is getting the snaps in 2026, I think everything should be ready for another playoff run. And I don't, like you said earlier, it's not out of the cards this year either. So
Yeah.
I think we can do 8-4 off our run game and defense, just like we did in 2023. So, and a lot like we did last year. But again, I'm not going to be like wanting to fire Heupel or make a bunch of coaching changes if we go.
His seat's ice cold.
Yeah, and I think when you have what happened with Nico, I think people are going to understand. You know, and I know Vol fans are a little bit crazy. They're a little bit crazy.
50-50.
Yeah, I think most people will understand if it goes south, but I do think, like we've been talking about, it sets up good for the future. Either way, as long as you can keep the guys here, which, I mean, obviously the philosophy in the offseason was let's just focus on the young guys. Let's play to keep them here. So hopefully it works. And you know, picking up guys in the transfer portal was good. Like we got guys that are going to play. We got Mo and Pendleton and Colton Hood. Like those guys are all going to play. Yeah, they're all going to play. But we did not fill out the roster with a bunch of group of 5 guys who are like B- B players, which I think is okay. I'd rather bet on potential and keep the guys that you recruited here. I mean, what's the point of being in a recruiting battle for 2 years, 3 years with Georgia if you're not going to play them when they get here? So
that game's going to be so interesting. I really do think that game's going to be like a 17 to like 14 game. Like I think it's just going to be. I think it's just going to be hard to lose defense. Like
yeah.
And again, I think Joey Aguilar and the deep ball and his threat to run, he has a lot of potential, man. Like I said, I'm not comparing him to Hendon Hooker, but Hendon was not scared to run.
Yeah.
And Nico was. Half the time, Nico would have a touchdown after he gets out of the pocket and he trips over his own feet. Like, the dude, how many? I mean, I was there. You were there at Neyland Stadium where it was just incredible.
It was either that or one of the linemen was holding whenever he got out of the pocket. The best run he had all year was the run on our first touchdown drive against Alabama when he got down to the 7 or 8 yard line. It was like a 30-yard run. Other than that, I do not remember another run that he made that I was like, wow, that was pretty athletic. So I'm glad he did against Alabama. You know, he will finish his career as the best quarterback against Alabama, winning percentage-wise in Tennessee history. But
until Joey goes to Tuscaloosa and wins it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like you said earlier, everything in the first week and a half before you even get to the first scrimmage, a week of that was without pads, just in shells, shoulder pads and helmets. You got to take it with a grain of salt. We will find out a lot more after this scrimmage tomorrow morning. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everything goes. I think most of the stuff coming out of camp has been kind of negative, really. You know, like the wide receiver stuff. With that's been the main story is the wide receivers. And other than that, it hasn't been much like this guy's flashing, except the freshman. But I think once we get past the first scrimmage, you'll start hearing good things about players. Once it's like live action and not just drills, you know?
Yeah.
because there's a lot of guys. I mean, Joe Milton is lining up in Dallas Cowboys training camp right now. They're experienced.
Hendon just had a 23-yard run just as we speak.
There you go. Like Milton's lighting it up. They're going through the Joe Milton experience down there in Dallas. Like, should we start this guy? He's good in practice, but that's why that whole first year with Hendon and Milton, and Hendon taking over after Milton got hurt, just shows you it happened with Dobbs too. Some people are once the lights come on, they just turn into a different player, and maybe that's Joey, maybe that's the wide receivers, but like I said, I think you'll start hearing better things as we move along here.
I think between Joey and his deep ball accuracy and the speed that we have at wide receiver, I mean, it's crazy that Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, and even Travis Smith Jr., Radar, and Brazel. I mean, they're faster than most. I mean, those kids are insane. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm really like lost of words with this offense. So,
I think it's more exciting than interesting because we have that wide receiver room is littered with top 100 players. I think the only one who wasn't was Brazel, and he's the most experienced. So,
which can he be another Dante Thornton second year? I mean,
yeah. Can Mike Matthews be another Dante Thornton second year or Jalen Hyatt?
Well, Mike Matthews should have played last year. He should have played last year. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't blame him on flirting with the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean that's the cautionary tale, which is why I think they did what they did in the offseason. If you don't play the young guys,
they're gonna leave.
Yeah, exactly, and they could pan out somewhere else. I mean, Mike Matthews had to sit and watch Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams light the world on fire while he was almost as highly rated as them and behind Squirrel White.
Right.
And Thornton was okay on the outside. That's probably where Matthews would have lined up. I don't think
start wide receiver for the Raiders, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. But I think he'll take that step this year. I think Brazel will take that step, and I think the young ones are going to flash. The Travis Smiths and the Raiders.
Got to get that quarterback, man. Just be a hair better than Nico. We're in the playoffs.
Again, yeah. I mean, that's what this whole fall camp is going to come back to. This whole season is going to come back to is how does the quarterback play look? And I think I said it a few weeks ago. I mean, if it's bad or average for a third straight year, you got to start asking questions about the quarterback coach and Heupel system and everything. I mean, 3 different guys in 3 years, maybe it's the system, or the lack of continuity, which is why I said earlier, I think if Merklinger is the best guy, he just doesn't have the experience. You got to play him. Like, if he's even slightly worse, I think you got to play him. Like, because, you're setting yourself up for the future here. So,
well, last question. Do you think the tempo will be back to what it should be?
God, I hope so.
Because here's my thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's a lot more likely if you have Merklinger doing it with Joey only getting here since June. So
my thing is if you get that tempo going with that new rule, 2 new rules actually, where
the injury rule,
they ain't gonna be doing it no more.
Yeah.
And between that and the whole defensive line shifting, causing the people to move, I think this offense could be very, very dangerous. Is if they could get that tempo up, they could spread the field, and then Eric Kane from Locked On Vols said it too. If you could tighten up the formations too, that could open up a lot too with between the tight ends and the wide receivers. I think, I don't know, that's just me. I hope the tempo could get back to where it was, because when Hendon was on that offense, that was the biggest thing. They catch a ball, they ran it for 3 yards. They're on the line in 2 seconds. Like, that's what made the offense so powerful, was defense couldn't catch a break.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it is possible. It would track that with how, electric the offense is and the way they spread out everybody, that the tight ends can have, passes over the middle. We just haven't seen it a lot in the last 4 years. We saw it the most with Fant and Hooker, but
Yeah.
I will say, that is kind of a high standard to keep up to 2022.
But it's possible.
It is possible. I mean, it 100% is. I don't think it's impossible. It's just hard to get back to that when you set the world on fire the way you did.
Yeah.
Also, did you know last year, Dylan Sampson was, awesome. And I'm don't take what I'm about to say as taking anything away from him. I don't think the run game is going to be any worse than it was last year. And that's because we'll probably get back to by committee again, like we were in 2022, 2023. We ran for as many yards in 2022 as we did last year, like a little over 200 a game.
Well, not only that.
Yeah.
The problem, I'm not saying anything bad about Dylan Sampson, but the biggest thing to me was he wasn't a threat to catch the ball. And I think all three of these guys that we got can catch the ball. And again, that's a big difference is if a running back can sneak out and you get a little, little drop pass to him.
Yeah.
That again, I think you're right. I think you're saying it a little bit differently than how I'm thinking it. Because I think the running game is going to be just fine without Dylan Sampson. And like you said, it's going to be the committee. All three guys are studs.
And not only that, I mean, in 2022, Hooker was a threat to run too. If Joey is that dual threat we hope he is, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, Dylan did everything he did without Nico doing much of anything from the quarterback spot rushing wise. So if we get back to the wide open field and run down your throat, spread out the line, it's possible that we're even better running the ball. So, and just the way the system is, Heupel always runs for nearly 2,000 yards. His offense normally does that. So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting. And that's about all I got to say tonight. Next week we'll have at least this scrimmage to talk about. I don't know if there's going to be one in between now and the next time we record, but the picture will become more and more clear the closer we get. So
we're so close.
What is it, 20-something days now?
23 days, I think.
Yeah, and 22 once this gets posted. So we're almost there. We're knocking on the door.
Yep. So. Sadly, we won't be in Neyland, but it'll be Tennessee football on TV. So
yeah. All right, man. You got anything else?
Nope. All I got is a go Vols, baby.
Go Vols.